And I know the story of this 10-year-old boy who was on the Hifz track. He was memorizing Quran. And his mother was thrilled. That's all she ever wanted, was for one of her children to memorize Quran. And her son started memorizing surah after surah after surah, and he was totally like, yes, I want to be a hafiz. The Hifz school, that the program that he was a part of, all of the Hifz students were given iPods to help them memorize Quran. So he used the iPod all the time, while walking outside, while in the car, while in his bedroom, or around the house, memorizing his surahs, and the mom was thrilled. All of a sudden, this son just lost, it seemed like it was all of a sudden, but it was gradual. The son lost interest in memorizing Quran. And he just told his mom, I can't do it anymore. I don't want to memorize Quran. And the mom was heartbroken. She was like, what happened? She felt like maybe he got nazared or ained, the evil eye. And so, but she told him, okay, just keep working at it. But he was like, no, I'm not interested in memorizing Quran. One day she walked into his bedroom and she saw that he was on his iPod and his back was to her. And she saw that on his iPod, he was watching pornography. So when she and her husband investigated, they found out that this boy had been watching pornography every single day for 2 years. Every single day, from the ages of 10 to 12, this boy had been watching pornography. He is hopelessly addicted. It is one of the most tragic stories, because I've been involved with the family, trying to help and just be there. And this boy is much older now, and he's still addicted. The parents were really smart. They immediately got him into therapy. They got him into, and there's actually therapy, a program now for Muslims called Purify Your Gaze. So if there's anyone struggling with it, Purify Your Gaze is a program. And when she first approached them when he was 12 years old, they said, no, we only work with adults. And inshallah, your son will be fine, whatever. And so years went by, he's not fine. And all sorts of problems come about from it. This boy has been suicidal because there's so many times he's tried to quit pornography and he has not been able to, and he keeps going back to it. And so he despairs and he starts to feel like Allah can never forgive him. So they have him in therapy, but not only do they have him in therapy for his pornography addiction, but they also have him in spiritual therapy. They have him in therapy with a sheikh who's there to help him and remind him of Allah's mercy, remind him why he can't despair, remind him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using this addiction just to break you. Allah is showing you that He's the master and you're the slave, and you have to just turn to Allah completely, just helping him that way. But the thing about pornography addiction, which people don't realize, is studies show first and foremost that most addiction happens between ages of 10 and 12. The other thing is they've actually done brain scans, actual brain scans on children who are addicted to pornography, and they have found that the hard wiring of the brain, the actual shape of the brain changes. It actually changes. There's a physical effect of pornography addiction. And they said that the high that people get from watching pornography is the same high that people get from using cocaine and heroin. So it's like being addicted to cocaine and heroin. So his parents are treating it like an addiction now, that they don't judge their son anymore. And recently the mom told me that after years of trying to deal with this, and they have a very open relationship with their son. The son will come to them and say, Mom, Dad, it's been a month, I haven't watched pornography. And they'll be like, wonderful, alhamdulillah. Then he'll come and say, it's been 2 months, I haven't watched any pornography. And they'll be really happy for him. And then he'll come and say, I watched pornography, I couldn't help it, I'm sorry. And he'll cry and they'll hug him. And, so this is their life right now. And the mom told me recently, after years of dealing with this, her husband is this big, strong person, doesn't show much emotion. She said the other day he just hugged her son and just broke down sobbing, just cried and cried and cried, and told their son, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that this happened to you. And she said that it happened, with Allah's will, but she said the lesson they took from it is, she said, we broke the number one rule, which is that you don't have internet in your bedrooms. She said the fact that our son had an internet device in his bedroom was our biggest mistake. The three things about pornography, it's the AAA engine. It's affordability. Pornography is free, and if it's not free, it's very cheap. Accessibility, you can access it anywhere. In the old days, you used to have to go to a video store. Now I could be watching it on my phone in front of you at the dining table and you would have no idea. Affordability, accessibility, and anonymity, the fact that nobody knows you're doing it. So what we as parents need to do is we can't do anything about the affordability, so we need to take away the accessibility and the anonymity. Along with warning about pornography addiction, you have to also teach your kids how to do tawbah. They need to know how they can turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if they mess up, so that they don't despair. And also for anyone who thinks, I don't want to talk about it because my kid may then want to go look it up, if you don't talk to your kids about it, somebody else will. I know of a kid who heard the word pornography used in a khutbah at a Jummah prayer, and nobody would tell him what it was, so he went and looked it up himself. I know a kid who went to a non-Muslim summer camp, and a boy came up to him and said, do you know what porn is? And he went, parm? He didn't even say the word correctly. He went parm, and he typed up P-A-R-M, and he found pornography, even with the wrong spelling.